helping you understand weight loss and changes in appetite in advanced illness. Reduced appetite and intake can be a concern for those living with advanced illness, and especially their friends and loved ones, as food plays such an important role in our physical health, but also our society and in our personal lives. Food plays a vital role in our bodies to provide us with energy and to help keep us healthy. One only has to think about a newborn and the mother's attention to ensure her baby is getting enough nutrition. We often relate food with pleasure and enjoyable memories, such as holidays, birthdays, celebrations, or those cozy kitchen chats, all which remind us of connectiveness, togetherness, caring, and love. But with advanced illness, reduced appetite and weight loss is extremely common. Families report worry when they see their loved one not wanting to eat or drink. In fact, it's a natural instinct for families to encourage food and fluids, thinking this will help the person feel better and live longer. But it's important to know that reduced appetite is an expected and natural process that occurs with advanced illness and can begin months before death. The disease process alters the body's requirements and desire for less food and fluid. People with advanced illness can be comfortable with limited to no food intake for days, weeks, or even months. And this is because people with serious illness do not experience hunger or thirst in the way healthy people do. Now, I'd like to share with you some of the things that contribute to a person's reduced appetite and thirst and loss of weight, but even more importantly, what can be done to help a friend or a loved one during this time? What is loss of appetite in advanced illness? Most people can relate to a loss of appetite when they've been sick from the cold or a flu. This type of loss of appetite is generally temporary, and it goes away when the person starts to feel better. Anorexia is a medical term to describe complete lack of appetite and no interest in food that persists over an extended period of time. Anorexia is different from occasional lack of appetite because it lasts for such a much longer period. People with anorexia have no desire to eat, even if they haven't eaten for many hours or even days. Now, weight loss in healthy people is usually a result of exercise or reducing calorie intake. But for people that have advanced illness, the cause of weight loss is much different. Abnormalities occur in the way the body uses food, resulting in weight loss. The medical term for this is cachexia. Essentially, even if the person with advanced illness could take food in, the body is unable to process the nutrients to build muscle and fat. So what causes loss of appetite and weight loss? Loss of appetite and weight loss can be the result of one or many problems, but by far the most common reason is the inability of the body to process the nutrients in the food. Instead, the body gets its energy by breaking down its own muscle and fat rather than making use of the nutrients found in the food. This results in the person experiencing symptoms including weakness, fatigue, and even persistent nausea. Now, another reason for loss of appetite and weight loss can be a blockage somewhere in the digestive system, which prevents food from being absorbed. Still, other causes can be from symptoms such as nausea, pain, constipation. Medications and chemical imbalances can also cause nausea. Depression, anxiety can cause nausea. Changes to the taste and smell can also impact appetite. So what medical treatments are there to treat loss of appetite and weight loss? Treating symptoms or conditions can sometimes help minimize reduced appetite, such as treating constipation with laxatives, using anti-nausea medications for nausea and vomiting, reversing chemical imbalances such as a high calcium with medication. Treating depression is important as it can affect appetite. In addition to helping someone feel better emotionally, antidepressants can boost appetite. Families will often ask if a feeding tube or total parental nutrition, or TPN, can be used to combat the effects of loss of appetite. While in only very specific situations such as a blockage or the failure of the digestive system to absorb nutrients, will the medical team even consider a feeding tube or another type of artificial nutrition. Research studies have suggested that artificial nutrition does not help in most situations and can actually cause harm, which can result in infections, swelling, or the medical term edema. It can also be a sense of burden to the individual who's hooked up to tubing. Now, artificial hydration, intravenous fluid that is, may be used earlier in the illness to prevent or treat specific issues such as delirium, nausea, and vomiting from chemotherapy or radiation. And for some, artificial hydration may be continued for cultural or religious beliefs. However, it's really important to know that these treatments would likely need to be stopped if the person's symptoms worsen. Hydration may be used at the end of life if it aligns with the person's specific goals. So for example, if it's important to the person to try to hold on for a few days until family arrive, or for a special occasion, hydration may be considered. It's important though in these discussions to also talk about plans for discontinuing hydration. The healthcare team may select a medication to try to help boost appetite. The most common ones that are selected are either steroids or hormones. Although these medications may improve appetite, they do not improve the body's ability to use the nutrients in food, which means that although the person may experience a better sense of quality of living, which is wonderful, they may not experience an increase in strength. So let's talk about how you can support somebody with a reduced appetite or no appetite. Maybe ask the person what they want to eat and when they want to eat, or even if they want to eat. Ask them what foods they prefer or foods that bring them enjoyment. Prepare smaller meals during the day instead of 3 large meals. Offer nourishing, milky drinks and consider supplements such as Boost or Ensure. Offer easy-to-chew foods which take less effort to eat. You can think also about cool foods and fluids. They're often more desired. Try to make the presentation of the food attractive, using colorful napkins and maybe changing the plates around. Offer ice chips, hard candy, and even oral care to help combat dry mouth. Offer oral care before and after eating. Remember to make sure your own nutritional needs are being met as well. Try not to be offended if a person refuses what you've made, and because remember, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the food. Also try not to push the person to eat more, as this may cause them discomfort, fullness, even nausea and vomiting. And try not to make mealtime tense and anxious. Use this time to focus on sharing, being together, or just being quiet. Avoid exposure to strong smells if it bothers the person. Avoid spicy foods if the person can no longer tolerate them. People with advanced illness can be comfortable with limited to no food for weeks and even months, remembering again that this is because people with serious illness do not experience hunger or thirst in the way that healthy people do. Now, during the last weeks of life, a person may turn their attention inward and be quiet on their own, not wanting to eat or drink. Patients may sleep more. They may also begin to lose consciousness. And both of these can be concerning if one tries to provide food or fluid, as it can interrupt the person's ability to swallow. More importantly at this point is mouth care, using a gentle toothbrush or a sponge. There are so many different ways you can express your care and love to somebody at this stage of their life, including just spending time together, reminiscing, listening to music, perhaps gently massaging hands and feet, or simply sitting quietly reading. All of this can be extremely comforting. Most of all, don't forget your own nutritional needs during this time, as this can be extremely taxing and draining during this period of loss and grief.